we're working towards understanding a very important relationship in economics, and especially macroeconomics, which is an equilibrium condition where the desired amount of investment is equal to the amount of savings. Now, the investment here is not, as we talked about earlier, is not investing in the stock market. That's the purchase of, for example, new factory equipment, housing, so forth. But now we want to focus first on desired savings and how consumers making a decision about current consumption and future consumption will change their decisions based on changes in some of these factors. Now, let's back up and really make clear about what we mean by desired savings. Now, that really has to do with, first, the value of national income or output minus the desired consumption minus government spending is what is available or is the desired savings of the private sector. Now, we're not taking into account any income from abroad, the sort of open economy stuff. This is just purely closed economy. When you get into more advanced classes, you'll talk about that aspect. But I want to just sort of talk through how these things will affect the desired savings. So let's first imagine that you have an increase in current income, current economic activity. Now, that's going to increase the amount of national savings. Now, typically, when you increase the amount of income to consumers, they don't consume all of it. They will end up consuming perhaps most, but then you will have an impact on savings. So if you have, say, $100 billion of income, they don't consume all of that $100 billion. Maybe it's only $80 billion, so that the amount of desired savings will tend to rise when you have higher income. And that really can go back to discussion about intertemporal budget constraints and so forth, but that we'll just leave it at that for now. The same way, if you increase the amount of wealth that people have, say, for example, from a stock market increase. Well, when you become wealthier, you don't have to save as much. You can generate income from your extra wealth. You will save. Typically save less, at least on an aggregate level. So it's very typical during periods, say, of a stock market boom or an increase in housing prices, increase in wealth, that you will see a sort of simultaneous decrease in the savings rate because people feel like they don't need to. Excuse me. How about an increase in the interest rate, the real interest rate, the amount that you have to pay or that you would earn if you saved your income and consumed later? So if you have an increase in the interest rate, that's a little bit tricky because on the one hand, you can save less and get to your desired level of consumption in the next period, but you also give up the opportunity for higher income because of that that um, that higher interest rate. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have been putting some of these things up. So, if you have an increase in national income, the desired savings, you're going to see a rise. If you see an increase in wealth, you're going to fall. With a change in the real interest rate, probably you would see a rise because it's attractive to save if you've got higher interest rates because you'll earn more on that. So I think that's probably a safe bet. Now, the impact on government spending a little bit trickier. So I want you to think about this using this equation right here. So the increase in the let's say it's a temporary increase in government spending. Let's say that there's an increase in military spending for a short period of time, and let's keep the level of national output the same for now. So the increase in government spending, let's say that is financed through an increase in taxes. Say you have a $10 billion increase in government spending, and the government turns around and taxes consumers by $10 billion in order to finance that. Well, so consumers will see their income drop by $10 billion. Now, typically the consumption doesn't drop by the full amount of the $10 billion. It would be somewhat less because people don't consume every dollar that they get, and they don't reduce consumption by every dollar that they lose in terms of income. There's this consumption savings trade-off. So what you will have is that you will tend to have an increase in government spending, but consumption doesn't fall by as much. And this again, keeping national income constant. So what you would see is that desired savings would tend to fall with that increase in government spending. Taxes, again, a little bit trickier, and it has to do, with a concept that's called Ricardian Equivalence, and let me explain that. Let's say that there's a decrease in taxes. The government says, "Hey, we're gonna lower taxes on you today." A Ricardian equivalence would say that the consumers understand that you lower my taxes today, you're going to increase my taxes tomorrow. Why should I change my consumption patterns or savings if I know that you're just going to increase my taxes tomorrow? Equivalently, if I were to increase taxes today, I say, well, you'll be able to lower my taxes tomorrow, so I'm not going to change my behavior. That's what's called Ricardian equivalence, that consumers build into their current decisions the future impact of tax rates. Now, whether or not consumers are that sophisticated or not, or whether or not I might say that my taxes will go down today, but maybe the tax increase that will pay for this borrowing was going to come on my grandchildren. I don't care about my grandchildren, or I don't have grandchildren, or whatever. So, it's a little bit trickier. But let me have a slightly simpler story. If taxes increase on me today, and I'm trying to think about my savings for the future, I might say, well, they're taking more out of my paycheck, I better save more. If I'm going to hit my target level of consumption tomorrow, I better save more. So I'm going to say that desired saving, if there was an increase in taxes, you're probably going to want to save more. That's not assuming Ricardian equivalence. It's saying that Ricardian equivalence is not relevant. Now, by the same token, my taxes fall, I can save less. So these are some basic shifters, if you will, of the savings decisions by consumers, with some basic intuition provided about the directions of those changes. Again, when we look at the investment and savings equivalence, that's going to play a role. Now, one other thing to keep in mind is the anticipations of changes in the future about these things. Let me set those aside, but it would, for example, it might change your current savings decision if I'm thinking national output's going to rise in the future, or my wealth's going to rise in the future. That could affect your savings, but let's set that aside for now.